What's up, everybody? This is your boy Heel Carl Michael, and welcome to another special edition of Heel Thoughts. And this episode is very special because this is the anniversary of Prince's death. And what better way to pay a tribute to the man himself, the artist formerly known as Prince? And I'm not a hardcore fan of Prince, but I am like a casual fan. I know some of his music, of course, from uh, 1999 to I Would Die For You, pretty much the Purple Rain soundtrack and a couple of his songs through media. But I'm a fan of his films, and the crazy part is I got all three of them. Now, everybody in community, pretty much if you're a Prince fan, a hardcore fan, more likely you will have Purple Rain in your collection. Now, if you're a hardcore fan, you will find three: Purple Rain, Graffiti Bridge, and Under the Cherry Moon. Now, I'm not gonna lie, you will find Purple Rain more than the other two because finding the other two films will be hard to find in these day to age unless you get through a digital or you go through one of them stores like Scratch and Spins. But these particular films I would definitely going to talk about. And the first film I'm going to talk about, of course, Purple Rain. Purple Rain is one of my all-time favorite movie of all time, next to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Scarface, Belly. Even though that's a crazy list, but I love those films. But Purple Rain hold dear to my heart because I love the characters, I love the story, and not only that, Prince himself is he said that some of the film or some of the part of the story kind of based on true story or true event and kind of like a split personality. Himself, play as kid, and his arch nemesis, Morris Day. And I'm not gonna lie, Morris Day is one of the most coolest villains of all time because he got his sidekick, Jerome, who will do anything for him. Hold a mirror, cleaning shoes, and even dumping his side piece in a dumpster. Back in the day, you couldn't do that shit. Well, today's era, you couldn't do that shit. But back in the day, we could do what the fuck we want to do in those films eras. The music was great. The character, including Apollonia, she's a beautiful person back in the day in the 80s. I don't know where she at right now, but that film made an impact in my life because the particular song I really fall in love with. And you probably hear this in my recent episode of Hill Thoughts, Purple Rain. That's the only song that really made me cry because the lyrics and just how important of the song for the film. And not only that, the soundtrack is amazing. So that's my favorite movie. The other movie, Graffiti Bridge. Now, the crazy part about that film is I know about the film, but I didn't know it was a sequel until I do a little research the same day when Prince died. And the crazy part about that is they show Graffiti Bridge on VH1. Once Prince passed away, they showed the film. And I'm not gonna lie, people say that's their favorite movie. That's the best movie. For me, I hate to say this, that movie sucked monkey balls because the sequel did not connect it to Purple Rain. And I get it because he shot his film in his studio, the Parsley Park studio, and the storyline was oof. That's how I feel like the storyline was oof. Um, the art was all over the place. The story is you try get into it. Morris Day being Morris Day and kids being the kid, but the big difference is they're not rivals. They partner because I guess the owner of the Purple Rain, the original character, passed away, and Morris Day and the kid they team up. But Morris Day went to the club, and I guess the chick who was supposed to be like the angel, she tried to be like a peacekeeper. All I know is she got in hand, she get hit by a jeep, and Morris Day pull out a pistol, and the only solution is have a sing off. Whoever got the best song wins the bar. Crazy ass story, but they do introduce some young artists like oh lord, what's the old boy name? Damn, the Nicholas sing who the Nicholas did a song called "Can We Talk." It's slipping my mind, but they got some young artists who was there, and pretty much it was more songs than stories, kind of like a musical type of way. But it was, it was an okay film, but it was crazy to show the day after Prince died, pretty much the same day the Prince died. The third film was Under the Cherry Moon. I feel like that's one of his strongest film between, Purple Rain and Graffiti Bridge. Because I feel like the story was very heavy. You see the brotherhood between Jerome and Prince in the story, and the plot was simple. It's like they try to scheme and try to get the money from the rich girl, but Prince fall in love with her, and it's kind of like threw the wrench in the whole plan. And in this film, I feel like Prince. How can I say this? Prince was acting. He was himself. I would say Prince was himself, and after he owned the movie, um, Jerome, he's feel like he's the type of motherfucker you would have by your side, like a ride or die partner, because that show like brotherhood, that show brother loyalty, friendship. That's the type of friend you would have by your side, except for the punch, because towards the end, I have never seen the weirdest, weakest punch I ever seen. Like I've never seen anybody throw a punch from the wrist up. It was something you see from the baddies. Like it was bad. But also Prince got shot at the end, which kind of shitty, but at the same time, don't fuck with the father daughter, because that was a bad no-no. In which that's a big bad sign. But I truly enjoyed that film more than the Graffiti Bridge, because the art and the style of the film, it was all black and white, and including the song as well. The song was pretty good too. They got a good soundtrack, but the art was black and white. It's very stylish. Um, got a very good balance of the song, and Prince, the character, and Jerome, they both have reach of the characters. Um, Reach development. Now, I'm not saying they deserved some Oscar, but I feel like that movie was, well deserved, and it should be talked about more than Purple Rain. I get it, Purple Rain was very mainstream, but I feel like people should talk more about Under the Cherry Moon. But between those three films, if I had to rank which film I love the most, of course, Purple Rain be number one. Number two, Under the Cherry Moon, and number three, Graffiti Bridge. Now I know there was a fourth film, Sign of Time, but I feel it's more like a concert film, because they like threaded out through the whole film between partial of the story and back to the concert you had. It was okay. I watched it through Tubi, but it didn't hit the same like the rest of his three films, and it felt a little bit different. So, but to be honest, I wish Prince was still alive and we have done some more films. Sort of, but it would have been a little bit different. I would love to see him do more films if he was alive. Of course, he could do music. That's no question about it. But the way he leave his legacy behind, without shadow of doubt, Purple Rain is a cult classic. It's one of the most iconic films of all time. You see that cover, the Purple Rain cover, not only the album but the soundtrack album, I mean the movie film and the soundtrack album. You see it being like a like a tribute. You see that in the T-shirt. You see that in the comic book covers. You see that all the time. So people love that movie more than the other two. But I feel like the Purple Rain is more iconic, and Prince as a artist, and I feel like it's more he's more for the people, he's more for the culture, and not only that, I picked that movie over any film. People say 8 Miles is a great movie. To me, 8 Miles is nothing more than the poor man version of Purple Rain. And yes, I say that shit. And I admit that. So fuck that dry ass movie. But anyway, but I love Purple Rain. That's my all-time favorite classic film. In my honest opinion, I will go back and watch it over again. I got the T-shirt, and I got the T-shirt. Hell, I'm trying going for that Funko Pop because I'm a big fan of Prince, casual fan of Prince. But in my humble opinion, will they do a remake? Fuck no. It's one of the movies that they shouldn't touch. Um, I know they did a stage play of Purple Rain, in which I gotta go and check that out on YouTube because I'm not going to a theater in my hometown, Columbia, South Carolina, to see a stage play of Purple Rain because I know they're gonna water that shit down to the fullest. But it's one of the masterpieces that you should never touch. Purple Rain is one of them. Now you can do the Graffiti Bridge. I don't care about Graffiti Bridge. And Under the Cherry Moon, that's another film you should not touch. And I do remember they did an anniversary film of it. I seen it on Instagram from Jerome's Instagram. So I feel like people should really check it out. Do I advise you guys to go get all three of them? Yes, go get all three Prince films. You will enjoy it. You will love it. Is it hard to get it? A hard copy? Yeah. Digital? No, it's very easy. You get it through Amazon, any other place. But I got 2 DVDs and a Blu-ray. The Blu-ray is Rain, DVD is Bridge, and Under the Cherry Moon. So that's my thoughts of it. I'm glad you sit there and reminisce of me talking about Prince films, and I hope you guys celebrate Prince Day with this video. So if you love it, hit the like, share, comment, and also don't forget to subscribe. And please, if you got some coins, you want to buy me a coffee, drop some dollars into my Cash App. And until then, I'm your boy Hill. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.